AI is getting way too good. It is getting way too good. I mean, ultimately, that is what, the corporate entities want. They want AI to be so good that they can replace anybody. They can replace talking heads on the news. They can replace actors. And the ones that they can't replace using AI, they want to create robots to do the job for them. So when I hear people touting the benefits of AI, and 2 years from now, when they lose their job, are they going to go, God, maybe AI wasn't so good? Maybe robotics kind of sucks when they take my factory job. But Google has this VO3 AI that looks so goddamn real. I usually got a pretty good eye about this. I remember a few months ago, back before the election, they were releasing photos of Donald Trump carrying kittens out of a hurricane, and little girls crying in a boat. And I was like, well, that's the most obvious AI I've ever seen. It looks fake as shit. But it is getting so good that it's hard for me to even tell. And I usually got a pretty good eye about these things. Take a look at this. This is some spooky ass shit. It really is.
I am a puppet for anyone who can afford me.
I am your new best friend.
I will sell you everything.
How will you know who to trust?
Evil will abuse me. Every business will use me.
Rumors will believe anything I say.
I am as real as you make me.
I'm just words some guy is typing to get a point across.
The old internet is dead. Oh!
That right there is...
Man, I love Tim Walz.
That
Tim Walz is
scary
awesome. So he
as
just
hell.
went and gave a
Hold
speech
on.
in South
Jesus.
Carolina.
What are we talking about here? That right there is some scary ass shit. I gotta say. That is frightening. It looks real as hell. I don't know what to do with that. I used to act back in the day. And, going on casting calls, cattle call casting calls, walking into a room filled with, at least a dozen tall blonde-haired women that looked just like me in the room. And I always felt kind of disgustipated by it, just looking around the room going, Jesus, it's got nothing to do with talent. It's just got to do with whoever the casting director decides that's going to be the one that I pick. It does not matter. They all look the same. But nowadays, with this technology, which, by the way, is environmentally terrible, the amount of fossil fuels that have to be burned to make this work, whether it is, AI, computer generation, the amount of power that it takes. By the way, we don't have the grid for it either. We're going to turn everything into AI. We're not updating the grid. We're talking about, making sure that AI continues to work. But when wintertime comes and your heat goes out, oh, tough noogies for you. We've got to make sure that this AI is kicking. And I look at that and I cannot tell the difference. I can't tell the difference. And I am concerned. There was one little scene in there that he's like, boomers will believe anything I say. They already believe every talking head on Fox News. I mean, they don't even call it Fox News. They just call it the news. And they believe every one of those talking heads. So all we got to do is just program a talking head that looks appealing and says all the same shit. And you don't even need to hire any more news people anymore. You don't need to hire any actors anymore. You don't need to go out and find a girlfriend or a boyfriend anymore. You could just have your AI boyfriend, that will take care of all your needs. And if he's not taking care of your physical needs, then you can just go ahead and buy a robot for that. Are we desperately not trying to go out of the house? For God's sakes. It seems like that, the Silicon Valley tech bro billionaire types, what they want is just a dystopic future where nobody has a job anymore and they own all of the wealth. And it's stuff like that AI nonsense, that is definitely giving me pause. It's very disturbing. And I mean, where are they getting all of these images from? They are scraping the internet for every bit of data, meaning they're using your data, they're using your art, they're using your music, and they're scraping it into a pile, extrapolating the parts that they want without paying you for it, and then selling it back to you. I've noticed that a lot of schools are switching up their formats because too many students were handing in chat GPT papers, that they just printed out. They didn't write it. They just type it in, give it a couple prompts. I need a report on this, that, and the other, and this, biology, dissecting frogs, yada, yada, yada. And then the chat GPT spits out something. And teachers were starting to notice that a lot of the papers that were being submitted looked very similar, and they had a lot of the same consistent errors because ChatGPT, will glitch out. Recently, Elon Musk's AI Grok was adding, for every question you ask Grok, it would insert some kind of white genocide South African propaganda into it. So whoever is programming these, putting in these prompts are affecting the information that is coming out. AI is not creating anything new. They are taking existing art and science and technology that has already been created by humans and then putting it in a stew and serving it up to you to eat. And this right here is just a further escalation of it. I mean, did y'all not watch Terminator? I mean, this is fucking Skynet, man. And all of them are, all of the tech bros are looking forward to this, when AI becomes self-aware. Is that possible? I don't know. Maybe it is possible. But I don't think that we want to be around for that to happen because it's not going to be good for us. I find it fascinating. These guys, these tech bro billionaire types, this is their religion. Like a Christian person thinks that when the end comes, they'll be raptured up, or when they die, they'll go to heaven and they will meet this beatific God and they'll live in a perfect, wonderful, beautiful society in heaven. Well, these tech bros are trying to invent an AI God to basically ask it questions. Reminds me of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they had that machine that they wanted to know the ultimate question, and it said, come back in 5 million years and I'll give you the answer to the ultimate question. They want to create their own God so they can ask it, for 3 wishes, like it's some kind of genie. And then eventually they will get to a point where AI is God, and then they will advance technology so either their physical bodies will live forever or they will be able to upload their consciousness onto the inner Googles and live forever out there in the ether on the web. So they're actually acting like Christian evangelicals, except their God is AI, and they will go on to live in perfect, wonderful harmony on the internet forever. That's if, they don't move to Mars. What are we doing, folks? What are we fucking doing? We've got issues to deal with on this planet. And it's not like they're not staring us in the face. People don't make enough money. They don't have health care. They don't have adequate housing. They don't have adequate food. They're not dealing with healthy food. We got the Mahav movement talking about, we got to make sure that we get the bad stuff out of the food and the yellow dye number 5. But meanwhile, people live in fucking food deserts and they don't have access to good, healthy food. So where are they eating? They're eating processed food at the grocery store, or they're eating fucking fast food because those are their only options. The human being needs basic things. They need health care, they need housing, they need food and shelter and clothing, and they need to be able to earn a living and raise a family. If you want the continued, Elon Musk wants to ensure the human race's future, but meanwhile, everything he is doing is ensuring that our human race is going to die that much sooner. All of these rich guys have enough money to fix problems. We already have scientific access to carbon capture. We could throw tons of money at that. There are so many fixes that we could go to for fixing climate change, but we are choosing not to do it because tech bros want to move to Mars, or they want AI to be their god. And they want everybody else to live in fucking squalor, and they don't care because they're building compounds. They're buying islands and they're living out their multi-billionaire fantasy while the rest of us starve to death. But meanwhile, aren't you entertained? Isn't this fun? Isn't this wonderful? God damn, man. All of these guys are just scumbags, man. Whether it's Elon Musk, it's Peter Thiel, it's, all of these tech guys. And, even the ones that are nominally on the left, they do not have your interest in mind, at heart. They don't care. They don't care about you. They just want to monetize everything. And if you can't afford it, like that little AI, by the way, everybody that you saw in that video, those are all AI characters. They're not real human beings. That's AI. But that one woman's like, I'll be whatever you want if you can afford it. I like that. That's really pointing it out. You are not going to be able to afford this shit. This is for wealthy people. You are just going to be, working the grind set, working your 5th job of the week, scraping by, not being able to pay for anything. But it's fun. It's real entertaining, isn't it? Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.